My dear Canadians, I have written a letter regarding recent events. My dear Canadian friends, I am making this video as a citizen of the United States who wants to deeply apologize for the reckless and irresponsible rhetoric from our current Commander-in-Chief, Donald J. Trump. For those Canadian citizens who do not watch the news and are unaware of current events, let me bring you up to speed. Recently, my country has elected an idiot. This moron has made careless overtures that he would turn the Great White North into the 51st state. What did he mean by that? I don't know. I don't think anybody does, least of all Trump himself. What I do know is that this level of disrespect is unacceptable. One simply does not talk to friends that way. What I also know is that in the coming years, the United States is going to need all the allies it can get. Alienating our closest one with this flippant posturing is an inexcusable strategy for the geopolitical situation of the present. Please understand that this is not the attitude of the United States or the American public at large, but the insane ramblings of one man, Donald Trump. If it is any small consolation, I will pledge here and now to fight on the side of Canada in the extremely unlikely scenario of an invasion. Not that I take up arms against my own beloved country lightly. It's not that I love Canada that much. It's that I love America that much. If the United States is willing to attack our closest allies, then I will know that I'm not fighting for the United States and its interests, but I will be fighting for Donald Trump. And I don't want to lay down my life for that dumbass. Not that my pledge will make any difference. I know that no Canadians will be calmed in knowing that some old white guy with a bad back is going to jump in on their side if it ever came to that. I just want you to know how deeply I feel that if my country ever embarked on a crusade so foolish, it wouldn't be the country I know and love. But we both know it will never come to that. It's ridiculous. But then why the rhetoric? I don't know. Trump has lost his mind if he ever had one. This is a man who wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico. This is a man who wants to reclaim the Panama Canal. This is a man who believes that Greenland is now of vital strategic importance to the United States. And perhaps most of all, this is a man who took the side of Vladimir Putin in the war in the Ukraine. But I'm sure the fact that Putin covertly helped Donald Trump get elected in 2016 is purely coincidental. But I digress. In short, our countries have fought side by side for freedom and against dictatorships. It is to my shame to admit that in this situation, my country is providing the dictator. Russia and North Korea are now our allies, and Canada is the enemy? You are not our enemy, dear Canada. You never were. Well, except for that one time you burned down the White House. But that was a long time ago, and now we have become the closest of friends. I want you to know that we respect your sovereignty. We remember how you fought valiantly in Verdun in North Africa, Italy. We stormed the beaches at Normandy together. We remember how you came to our aid after 9/11, even though you weren't attacked. You fought with us in Kandahar anyways. We remember how recently, even though you weren't threatened by the fires in Los Angeles, you sent your planes in anyways. Because that's the kind of people you are. You're a kind, courteous, and notably polite people, always willing to help a neighbor. We in the United States have counted on that generosity over the years, and all good Americans want you to know that we will not take Canada's kindness and goodwill for granted. Remember, Donald Trump does not speak for all Americans. He does not speak for the majority, and he certainly doesn't speak for the intelligent Americans. He looks up to dictatorships and down on democracies. But we want to align with you, Canada, not the tyrants of the world, because we have the same ideals: free speech, free press, free and fair elections, and a liberal and open democracy. Let's face it, our countries may not be exactly identical to one another, but we're about as close as two countries can get. We are simpatico. What I'm trying to say is that we hate him too, intensely. Besides, this wouldn't be the first time that our two countries bonded on our mutual disdain for fascism. Even though I have found Canadians to be generally easygoing and tolerant, there comes a point where even that notorious Canadian politeness is pushed too far, usually by our infamous American crassness. I hope this is not one of those times. But I guess what really irks me is now I have to begrudgingly admit that you're doing a better job in carrying the torch of liberty in the free world than we are. Free speech, free press, we invented those things. But now you guys are adhering to those principles better than we. You're beating us at our own game. Hell, you can say you're being better at being American than Americans. How's that for irony, Alanis? I'm sorry. If there's one thing Canadians love, it's being compared to Americans. Sorry about that. I know you're not America light and that you'll never be the 51st state. You will always be Canada, and you will always be a proud defender of the Western ideals of freedom. I'm not trying to make excuses for Trump or America right now. We elected him, and we have to deal with the consequences. I'm not asking you to forgive Trump. I know that I will never forgive him for the way he's corrupted my beloved country. Don't listen to Donald. He is a pathological liar and a perennial idiot. I only hope that we can retain enough goodwill that we may restore our once mighty alliance someday and renew our mutual trust and commitment to democracy. Thank you. Much peace and respect, your American neighbors.